Hello there, Watson here. It's been a while since I've done a weekly pickups video, so I'm just gonna do a monthly pickup video instead. I kind of forgot to record these. I've been recording other stuff and whatnot and playing games and all that, so I kind of stopped doing these. I am gonna get back to it though. So, monthly pickups for September. I don't know whether I'll keep these as monthly or carry on doing them weekly like I was doing. I think monthly is probably better overall. But yeah. Here we go with the monthly pickups then. So, first off on the Nintendo Switch, I got Pokemon Shield. Put those down there. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. So Pokemon wise, I thought it was done with those. I still don't have Pokken Tournament, so I need to get a copy of Pokken Tournament for the Switch, and then I've got all of the retail physical Pokemon games on the Switch. I will probably pick up the Wii U version of Pokken Tournament as well whilst I'm at it, because for some reason the Wii U version is £5 and the Switch version is like 30 still. So who knows what's going on with that. Next to the Nintendo DS, I got a copy of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2. Final Fantasy Tactics is very close to launching on modern systems. The original version, the PlayStation 1 version, is getting a remake, and I plan on playing that as well. We'll see whether I get a code or not from Square Enix on Tuesday, I guess. If not, well, I'm buying it anyway. So, unfortunately, I play on Xbox, and there wasn't a physical version for Xbox, so I will be buying it digitally. If there was a physical, I'd have bought a physical. It's just how it goes. Speaking of Final Fantasy, we have Final Fantasy Anthology. This is the American version, so it is Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI, as opposed to the English European version, which is Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy V. So yeah, got a copy of Final Fantasy Anthology. It's still sealed, which is pretty cool. I bought a bunch of Japanese versions of Final Fantasy games, so we're going to go through those next. These are all on PlayStation 1. So, speaking of Final Fantasy Tactics, we have a Japanese copy of Final Fantasy Tactics. This never launched in PAL regions. It didn't come out in Europe or the UK or anything. So, there's this, and there is a US version of it. So, I'll probably pick up the US version at some point. Yes, there was a case that just fell down on that shelf behind me. Yeah, so Final Fantasy Tactics. I also got a copy of Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VII. Legend of Mana. And lastly, a copy of Chrono Trigger. All of these came in the same bundle. With postage, they came to £80. So it's like £14 per game or something along those lines. So that's like most of the Japanese versions of Final Fantasy games. I'm not sure how many other Japanese versions there are and whatnot. I will do research and find that out over the next, sort of couple of years to carry on the Final Fantasy collection, which, as you can see, is here. Get my point in the right way. So, these are all Final Fantasy games on the shelf. Next up on the Xbox One, we got some Xbox One games that I bought as well. So, we've got Steven Universe, Save the Light, and OKKO, Let's Play Heroes. These were actually distributed by Outright Games, who I am an ambassador of. The only way to get these now is physically. They've been removed from digital stores. These are two, like the only two at the moment outright games that I've not played and done Let's Plays for on the channel. These and Zoids for the Switch. So yeah, I'll do a Let's Play of those at some point. They are also RPGs as well, so they fit the channel nicely. We've got a copy of Anthem. This is getting delisted from digital stores and then closed down completely. The servers are being taken offline in January. So pretty soon this will be a coaster, I guess. We've got a copy of Fallout 76. Destiny 2. Borderlands 3. The Elder Scrolls Online Somerset add-on. And the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind add-on. Those were all £10 from Music Magpie. It was just, I wanted to get a bunch of Western RPGs to sort of buff out the Xbox One RPG collection a little bit, because the majority of the ones that you see up here on this shelf at the top, so here, there we go. So all these games here are mostly all like Japanese RPGs, so, or I suppose Eastern RPGs. So yeah, I decided to buy some Western ones, and they were a tenner for all of those. Also from Video Game Plus in Canada, I got a copy of Shenmue 1 and 2. Adventure Time, Pirates of the Caribbean, fantastic turn-based RPG by Outright Games. Again, highly recommend that one. And Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters. I've never played any of these games before, so I'm looking forward to playing that at some point. So that's all of the Xbox One RPGs sorted. I got quite a few of those over the month. I do kind of buy from like the Game Collection or Video Game Plus every so often to get sort of the newer titles. They tend to do them pretty cheap, so. And Video Game Plus, if you get like new releases, they tend to do free shipping, which is great. Anyway, the 360 collection. So there is quite a few in the 360 collection for the month, obviously. There's a couple of heavy hitters in here, so I'll do the cheaper ones first, I guess, and then the heavy hitters last. So we got a copy of Kung Fu Panda. I have this as a double pack. I've got the double pack with Lego Indiana Jones, which is cheaper than them both. If you buy them both separately, they're more expensive, which is weird. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda. We got a copy of Dante's Inferno, a fantastic action game. Planet 51, the game, based on the is it Disney movie, Pixar, what? DreamWorks maybe? Don't know. Doesn't say. But yeah, Planet 51. Ridge Racer Unbounded, one of the few Ridge Racer games that we got on Xbox 360. MX vs ATV Alive. These are quite hard to get hold of, the MX vs ATV games, for whatever reason. And they're not particularly expensive. They just don't tend to come up anywhere other than the CEX, which is really weird. This is only the second of the 4 that I've got. In my own experience, anyway. I mean, other people might feel differently about them and whatnot. Toy Story Mania. Jillian Michaels Fitness Adventures. Absolute banger. Marvel Avengers Battle for Earth. Adventure Time, The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom. This is the last Adventure Time game that I needed for the Adventure Time set. So I've got all 3 games now on the Xbox 360. Rugby League Live 2. There's so many rugby games. And I'm not into rugby, so... Family Game Night Volume 3. The Family Game Night games are weird in that you get Family Game Night and there's Volume 3 and 4. Volume 2 didn't launch on the Xbox or the PlayStation originally. It was Wii and PC, and the PC version is different from the Wii version for whatever reason. I think a lot of it's like motion controls and stuff. I'd say for whatever reason. When I looked it up, the games on the Wii were like Operation and stuff like that, which was why they weren't on the Xbox 360 and PS3 originally. I believe they did eventually get a digital download for Volume 2. But yeah, there are 3 physical versions of Family Game Night. 1, 3, and 4. I've now got 2 of them. And lastly, we have 2 heavy hitters for the month. Basically, I tend to pick up a heavy hitter on Payday. I guess the last time I did these was before Payday, so there might be a few Xbox 360 games that I've missed. But not missing out much. So yeah, heavy hitters, without further ado, we have Spider-Man, The Edge of Time. I think now, Spider-Man wise, I've got 1 more Spider-Man game to get, and then I've got the set, which is Web of Shadows. Unfortunately, I did originally own that. It's one of those where occasionally you lend games out and they never come back for whatever reason or another. I know the reason why this game didn't come back, so it's kind of okay. But now that the price is like gone through the roof for Web of Shadows, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I did own that at one point. Definitely didn't pay the, I think it's like £80-ish that it's sat at now, £70-80. So yeah, I definitely didn't pay that for it originally. But alas, we have Spider-Man Edge of Time. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I have played a couple of games though. I'll eventually one day decide that I'm playing all the Xbox 360 games and I'll play it again anyway. And lastly, Azora's Wrath. Azora's Wrath, I actually borrowed from a friend one summer and did all of the DLC and everything. This isn't this copy, I gave the copy back. I used to, during the summer months when no games were launching, I'd borrow a couple of Xbox 360 games for a friend, he'd borrow a couple from me, and then over the summer we'd do each other's games, and at the end of the summer we'd hand them back, which was a pretty neat way of doing things and meant that we got new games to play. So yeah, Azora's Wrath was one of those. I completed it and gave it back, and obviously had no thoughts of buying the game until I decided that I was going to collect Xbox 360, and what do you know? Here we are again with Azora's Wrath, and it's now, this was £42 from CEX, because the price of it never dropped, so not entirely sure why. I think it was because it was just like end of the cycle for Xbox 360. But that is all the pickups from the month. Mixed bag, PlayStation 1 games, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Series X, some Switch games. And next month I will definitely pick up a copy of Pokken Tournament, so that then I've got all of the Switch games, and then I'll look at getting the Steelbooks for him. There's a couple of Steelbooks that I still need to get to sort of round out the collection. Things like the Pokemon Shield Steelbook, there's the Legend Arceus one that I need to get, stuff like that. So, gameplay wise, so this month I played and finished Trials Tales of Arise. That was a great game. I've recently bought the DLC for it as well. The idea was that this week, whilst I was off, I was going to play the DLC as well, and never got around to it for various reasons. A lot of it was recording content at the beginning of the week. Then it went on sale. At that point, I was like doing Final Fantasy 15, because I'm trying to get all the achievements on that before Final Fantasy Tactics launches, because that's like the last Final Fantasy game that I need to get all the achievements on. I got a couple of the DLCs done. Yeah. And then Outright Games new game came out Thursday. At the moment, pretty much every Thursday there's a new game by Outright Games that comes out. You'll see footage for it on the channel if you do see it. Just put the video on in the background so that it gets a few minutes run time. Helped out me anyway, with the push to partner still. The biggest thing that I need is watch hours. So if you are still watching this, thank you. Because yeah, what the watch minutes are what I need. So I'm currently about halfway to the 3,000. So there's that. So yeah, I am trying to complete Final Fantasy 15 at the moment, and NBA Bounce, which is Outright Games' latest game. I'm not a big basketball fan, and it's a long completion, so that's not particularly going very well, but I will be getting back on that as soon as I finish this recording. And then on top of that, there was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from Game Mill. And there's stuff like the last couple of weeks has been like Gabby's Dollhouse, and there was another game as well, which I can't remember. Never mind. So yeah, that's basically been what I've been playing over the last month. Outright Games stuff, Tales of Arise, some Game Mill stuff, like Goosebumps, Rudolph. And then going forward, Tuesday will be Final Fantasy Tactics launch, so I will be playing that regardless of whether I get a code or not from Square Enix. So yeah, if I don't record any more of these, I will be doing them monthly. So good luck, have fun, enjoy your games, all that kind of good stuff. And I will probably see you in a month's time for more pickups. See you soon.